Blessings, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Sunday Night Alive. So, my name is Reverend Denise Schubert, and I am an ordained New Thought minister. And we come together every week to, in my world, we come here every week to exhale. We come here every week to put a pause on our life so that we can take some spiritual me time, so we can bring our energy back home, so that we can think a new thought, so that we can release something we don't need. Primarily, though, I think we come together from my perspective, to meditate for 10 minutes together in silence with a message and some music. So if you're new to Sunday Night Live, welcome for the very first time. I hope you enjoy it. We are unpacking the Four Agreements this month. I am the spiritual director at the Cape Coral Center for Spiritual Living, and we are studying this amazing little book that if you have not read and practiced the Four Agreements on your spiritual path, you must do it, because these four agreements are life-changing, transformational, brilliantly wise, and relatively easy, because they all kind of make sense. So last week, if you weren't here, you can check back on the recordings from last week, but we did the intro to the Four Agreements. Tonight, we are discussing agreement number 1, which is to be impeccable with your word, which is really watch what you say, which we would also talk about in the Science of Mind philosophy. But before we get started, let me just do a very quick blessing to center us. To center us in my world means to bring your attention back into your body, all that energy that's been going out away from you to move around the earth, to be with other people, to do all of that. We need to let that go. So let the past go and let the future go, and simply be here with me and with each other, because you're here. There are people here with you. You don't see them, and I don't see them. You only see me. But if you're here, you can also do in the comments, say hello. But for now, just take a moment and take a very deep collective community in breath with me. Just breathe in. And then take a full and complete and satisfying exhale. And as you inhale and exhale, just feel your energy calming. Feel your central nervous system calming. And recognizing in this moment that we are an expression of a source, that we are the expressions of source energy, that there is a creator that is not us, yet is us. And we know this because we didn't create ourselves. We didn't create the earth. We didn't create the moon or the sun or the stars or the elephants or the beetles we didn't do any of it. We're simply here as a part of it, enjoying and living amongst it and celebrating it. That's what we're doing. And so it is from that place of connection and recognition of this power and this presence that I simply bless our time together, calling it good, knowing that if we are here by divine appointment. It's no accident. You're here and I'm here. And so we just simply open our hearts and our minds to be receptive to whatever is of value to us tonight. And for this, I'm grateful. We let this be together. And so it is. All right, so my topic for tonight is watch what you say. It is based on the first agreement in the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, which is be impeccable with your word. So we want to explore this a little bit tonight. The format for this evening is I talk for a little while about this message and idea, and you do more than just listen to me go blah, blah, blah. You think about what I'm saying and how it applies to your life. And then after about 15 minutes, we will go into a 10 to 12-minute meditation together, silent meditation with some music in the background. I will not speak during the meditation. However, I will come back when it's over and I will close our evening with another prayer for all of us and each of us. So in the meantime, before we begin, if you obviously this format is free to you. However, many people want to donate to CSL and to Sunday Night Alive. And if you want to do that, you can do that through our website, which is cslcapecoral.org. And by the way, if you're not familiar with Cape Coral, you can go to cslcapecoral.org or YouTube or Facebook and watch our Sunday services and join the community in that way. Or you can also text to give, which is by far the easiest way to give. You just do it with your phone, and once you set it up, you can do it anytime you want to. Just do the amount you want to offer as your tithe or gift, followed by the initials SNA, which of course stands for Sunday Night Alive. Many of you have been with me on Sunday Night Live for a long time, and you're more used to PayPal or Zelle, and you can obviously do that as well to revdschubert@gmail.com. So that's the end of the commercial. And now let us take our journey into Watch What You Say, or the Four Agreements. Now, Don Miguel Ruiz invites us in the beginning of his book with this invitation. I want you to forget everything you have learned in your whole life. This is the beginning of a new dream. And this whole book is based on the idea that we are all living in a kind of fog based on our conditioning and domestication, and that we're not really present in life, we're not really experiencing life, we're not really understanding life. So he says, forget what you have learned and be open to learning something new, be open to experiencing something new. He says this is the beginning of a new dream. And the four agreements, the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. Now, it's very, impeccable has a very interesting definition in that it means completely free from fault, from error or flaw, without sin, which in science of mind, sin to us means a mistake. So be impeccable with your word means be real, be true, be present, be speaking only truth. So this is, we don't really think about the words we say too much, but we use them. Most often we use our words without ever even thinking about what they mean or the impact that they have. So it sounds simple, but it means be careful what you say, but it's much deeper than that, because our words are not just sounds. They carry meaning, they carry energy, and our words can either build life or can diminish life. You can either be a speaker of black magic or a speaker of white magic, just simply meaning that you can cast a spell that is uplifting, or you can cast a spell that is diminishing. So someone could say to you, and probably has said to you in your lifetime, I believe in you. And we can carry those words for a lifetime. Those words can impact us for our entire lives. And conversely, somebody could say to you, you're never going to amount to anything. And we can spend our entire lives trying to prove that that's not true. I mean, how many of you have a memory of somebody saying something to you like the spouse you divorced, or a thoughtless parent, or a thoughtless teacher? And it stings to this day. You can feel it sting, or you can feel it lift you and raise you up. So we want to, once we are aware, backing up. So in our words, instead of saying, I'm too old to learn that, when you say things like that, you are planting seeds. In fact, all of our words are planting seeds. We are seed planters. And mostly we are unconscious seed planters, meaning we don't act or live as if our words have impact on other people. But just as I just said, they do. Because if you can remember a time when somebody said, "Oh my God, you are so beautiful," or "Oh my God, I just love your energy," that is uplifting. And anytime somebody says, "Oh, you're so stupid," or "You shouldn't have done that," it can be deflating. So when we plant seeds, when you say, "I'm too old to learn," you're planting a seed of limitation. If you say, "I'm not good enough," you're planting seeds of unworthiness. If you say, "People can't be trusted," you're planting seeds of suspicion. So the seeds we plant, I'm going to show you this. The seeds we plant become thoughts. The thoughts become beliefs, and the beliefs influence our choices, and our choices create our experience. So our words matter. They matter. They matter no matter whether you say them out loud or to yourself. They matter whether you say them to yourself or to another person. So we need to choose language that leaves the door open to possibility and does not create limitation. Now, this is a practice. So as always, in our spiritual growth, in our journey of evolution, in our journey of becoming, we must practice, because as Don Miguel Ruiz deeply outlines in his book, we are what he calls in a fog, which is he calls matote. So it's the fog of collective consciousness. It's the fog of every moment before this moment. And in order to change all of that, it takes discipline, and it takes commitment, and it takes effort, because you have to become very interested in what you are saying. You have to become very interested in the what I would call the reruns in our minds, the negativity that we espouse or the positivity that we espouse, but mostly to make the shift from judgment, from criticism, to blame, to shame, to guilting ourselves or other people takes practice and takes awareness. So in the invitation, as we move out of Sunday Night Alive into your work week or into your week in your community, whatever it is you're doing, you want to ask yourself, does this conversation create more love, understanding, and compassion, or does it create separation? Are the words you're speaking lifting someone or tearing them down? And gossip is a pretty awful thing, because mostly when we gossip, we're gossiping. Our gossip doesn't normally raise people up. It normally pushes them down. Often gossip isn't even about truth. So it's about as far away from impeccable as you can get. Impeccable meaning true. Is it true? Is it loving? Is it kind? So be aware of gossiping, even though it feels like a normal thing to do, because everyone does it, right? You're around the water cooler at work and it's just what people do. You're with your family for dinner. It's just what families do. But when we're on a spiritual path, we are wanting to elevate our consciousness. I want to elevate my consciousness. I want to be a more loving, more kind, more decent human being. And to do that, that isn't something you can do by yourself. That is something, if you were to go interview everyone within your sphere of influence, would they say that you're kind and loving and generous and that you uplifted them? Or would they say, "Oh my God, she's such a blah, 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 fill in the blank"? So is what I'm saying true? Is it necessary? And is it kind? I love the "is it necessary?" Like, we often feel like it's our public and private duty to make sure everyone knows what they've done wrong, when they've done it wrong, and you and we. Do you know that commercial that I don't know if it's Allstate or it's an insurance commercial that says, We can't help growing up like our parents. We can't help but stop acting like our parents. That's kind of how it is. Like, however you were taught to speak, to communicate your feelings, to espouse your opinions and judgments. Uh, we want to I want you and I want myself to intervene. Is it kind? Is it true? And is it necessary? Because perhaps the best thing that we can do for one another is to let each other be, right? To not make it our business to fix them. So our words can close old doors and heal old wounds. And they can also open new doors that you didn't know could be opened for you, that you did not know was possible for you. So I think the biggest lesson, the biggest takeaway we can take away tonight in our very short 15 minutes together talking is right in alignment with the science of mind, philosophy, faith, and way of life, which is this: your words. The universe is listening to everything you say. The universe is a manifesting machine. It's a machine that is taking our thoughts, our attitudes, our beliefs, our words, and making them come true. And the universe doesn't care if you're a positive person or a negative person. So if you are a negative person, it doesn't mean the universe stops working. Just because you're cranky doesn't mean gravity doesn't work. It still works. So you want to make sure that you are planting seeds and manifesting what you want. And I know what you want. You want more peace of mind. You want more prosperity. You want more energy and vitality and health. You want more friends and community and a tribe of like-hearted people. That's what you want. You want to know that your life matters, that you make a difference in the quality of life on this planet. And how you're going to do that is through monitoring and bringing forth only that which is uplifting and congruent with those intentions that you have. Now, you may say, well, I don't want all that. It's like, yes, you do. Yes, you do. You don't want suffering. You don't want war. You don't want hardship. You don't want any of that. You want everything I said. So you want to wake up each morning and say, today I will be impeccable with my words. And before speaking, ask yourself, is this true? Is this loving? And will this create what I want to experience in my life? And finally, if you make a mistake, and you will, out of frustration or out of anger, you're hangry or you're hungover or you're frustrated with someone, it's okay. We're not perfect. We're going to do the best we can do. But here's what you say. You can say, oh, I am so sorry. Let me try that again. Right? You can immediately right the wrong with a person, which, by the way, is very powerful for other people because it lets them know you're human, that we all make mistakes, and that we can change. We can change. You can say, oh, I'm so sorry. That wasn't what I wanted to communicate. Can I have a do-over? So your practice this week, notice, how do you speak to yourself? How do you speak to other people? Be very cautious and pay attention to what words are you using to describe your life. Because you don't want to say, you want to watch what you say. You do not want to say, I'm so poor, or I'm so lonely, or I'm so tired. You do not want to say that. Because the minute you say that, that's going to become your experience and what happens. So watch the words you're describing the words you use to describe your life. So do you have your homework? Are you clear about your homework? Which is it's not hard. Your homework is to become aware of your words, spoken or unspoken. Just become aware. You don't have to change them next week. You don't have to get too tied up. Just become aware. And when Ruiz says be impeccable with your word, he's just saying make sure your words are in alignment with your higher self. Make sure your words are creating a future that you want. Make sure your words are not hurting people or annihilating people, because life is like a boomerang. Whatever you put out, you're going to get back. So yes, say yes. I can't hear you, but I'll know if you say yes. So when we're going to move into meditation. I'm going to put on some music in the background, and we're going to do this for, oh dear, I talked for a long time today. So we're going to do this for 10 minutes, maybe 9 minutes. This is your affirmation. This is our affirmation for the day. I am conscious of the power of my word. Today, I choose words that bless, uplift, heal, and reveal the highest truth within me. That's a little long to remember. So just your affirmation can be, I am conscious of the power of my word. As we meditate, there's no right way to do it. I just invite you to turn off your phone, put your dogs outside, tell your husband to leave the room, or your wife or your kids, and give you 10 minutes so that you can just contemplate this idea for your life and to make some powerful, wonderful commitment to be aware and to be more loving, kind, and truthful this week with your words. So take a minute and take a few deep breaths before we turn within. I'm going to find our music. Take a couple of deep breaths. Simply releasing anything you do not need on this day. Taking a few very wonderful, a few wonderful breaths. I'm having a hard time finding our music here. Where is our music? I don't know where our music is. Media assets. Okay, maybe we don't have music. That's okay. That's all right. We can actually meditate in the silence. Yeah. Okay. Oh, here we go. All right. Our music tonight is Sufi meditation. So just about 10 minutes with your eyes closed, contemplating our message tonight, communing with the indwelling presence of spirit. I will see you on the other side. and so just taking a moment, to take another breath. As I speak a word of blessing, I speak my words for each and every one of you and for myself. And the words I speak are not so much a prayer as they are an attunement, that we are attuning ourselves to the divine, attuning ourselves to that which is most real and true for ourselves and other people. And simply knowing in this moment that we are surrounded by an infinite wisdom, an infinite intelligence, a creative presence that I call God. God is everywhere. No spot where God is not. No place where this divine intelligence is not functioning 100% of the time, all of the time, doing what it does, which is to support, to uplift, to heal, to comfort, to prosper. And so I know that each one of us are connected by this power and this presence called God. And so I simply speak my word affirming for each one of us that we become more awake, more conscious, more aware this week of the matter of the difference that we make in our world, that our thoughts matter locally and globally. And so what I know for each one of us is that as we shift our narrative, as we shift what we allow to come out of our mouths or out of our thinking, that we, our lives improve and the lives of the people around us improve, and that we have an impact on the future of ourselves and the people to whom we bless. And so for this and all the blessings of this evening, I'm grateful. So grateful that you choose to join me on Sunday Night Alive every week and try to bring into this world we're living in a little more peace. I see you peaceful. I see you happy. I see you awake. I see you making a difference. I see you joy-filled. And I see you healthy, prosperous, and wise. And so for the blessings, all of that, we give thanks, we let this be. And until next week on Sunday Night Alive, have a wonderful week. God bless you. Be safe. I will see you then. Mwah.